Hey, welcome back, options traders, and I hope everybody had a fabulous weekend. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the risk of rolling to reduce time decay, because in markets like this, traders are probably rolling more frequently, and that's fine. It's a good strategy, a good hedging technique. But I've heard some traders talking about the reason that they do it is to reduce time decay. And like most answers for options and strategies, it depends. It depends on which strikes you're rolling to if you are actually going to reduce that time decay. So why is that? Well, first of all, remember what rolling is, that traders often roll to reduce the amount of money in the trade. That's the primary reason. And it allows you to stay in the trade, but to capture some profits. So it's just a classic hedge. So as an example, if you have the $100 call, let's say that you paid $6 for. So here's our bend at 100, there's our $6 maximum loss. At a later time, we might be able to roll from the 100 to the 105. We move from the red to the blue. But notice that this lowest portion of the red curve has now been shifted higher. Right there, that's the main reason for doing the hedge and the roll, is it reduces the potential that we could lose. Now, there is a trade-off that we do shift the break-even point to the right, and we can see that because the blue curve, the new one, is actually sitting further to the right. But it's a hedge. We are giving up some of the upside, not all of it. We can still see that the blue line continues higher forever. It just doesn't sit as high on the chart as the red. So the reason we do it is to, again, capture these profits. Now, if you can continue rolling, sometimes even just a second or a third time, you might get yourself into a guaranteed gain, where this entire green curve sits above zero. And by doing that, now we've got continued unlimited profits, but we also have a guaranteed gain. So this is the primary reason for rolling. However, once again, I've heard people say, well, no, it's really about time decay. And this is where you have to be careful if you are rolling to try to manage or reduce the time decay. So remember, and we've talked about this before, that at-the-money options decay more in the second half of their life. And so, again, the main thing that we want to cover here for this video is that traders often roll before expiration to avoid the impending rapid time decay. And is this a good idea? Well, again, it depends on which strikes you are rolling to. So here is the typical time decay graph that most people are familiar with, but remember that it only applies to at-the-money options. So what we've got here is an option with 100 days to expiration. Here's 0 days to expiration. And it was trading for 10 bucks back here with 100 days to go. And when 50% of the time comes off, so we've got 50 days remaining, that the option has lost 30% of its value, not 50% like a lot of traders think. Now, for the next 25% of the option's life, it loses only 20%. But in the final 25%, it now loses 50% of its value. So you can see it's an acceleration. We are starting to, I've often said, think of this red line like a side of a mountain, like you're snow skiing down it. Yeah, you've got some speed here, but look at how it starts to accelerate. Right here is when you really start going off that cliff. And that just simply means that's when this option, the at-the-money, will actually start to decay the fastest. Now, unfortunately, too many times new traders see this type of a curve, this time decay curve in red, and they assume that it applies for all options. It doesn't. Your out-of-the-money options decay much differently. So the thing with out-of-the-money options is that they decay more in the first half of their life, exactly the opposite of the at-the-money. So if you roll to out-of-the-money options, yes, you'll have less money to decay, but the rate of decay will be faster. So for example, here's a couple more options, and I've enlarged these numbers so you can see what's going on better. This blue curve is the at-the-money curve, and the red one is the out-of-the-money curve. So I set the stock price to 100. This is the $100 call in blue, and the red is the 110 call. And I think I did 90 days to expiration with about 30% volatility. And that's not really the important part. You're going to get roughly the same types of curves if you are going out of the money. That's really the bigger issue to see. But for these option prices, back here with 30 days to go, the at the money was trading for $5.94. Notice that after the halfway point, it's worth $4.20. And that is, as we saw, down 30%. That will always be true for the at the money. But take a look at the out of the money. This one was trading for $2.47 with 30 days to go, but at the halfway point, it's worth $1.10. It's down 56%, pushing close to double the rate of decay of the at the money. Now, yes, you could look at it in terms of dollars and say that the at the money decayed from $5.94 to $4.20, so it lost $1.74, whereas the out of the money decayed from $2.47 to $1.10, so decreased $1.37. So yes, it is less money in terms of total dollars, but again, depending on the strategy that you're using, sometimes it's about the rate of decay that matters. And too many times traders think that when they go to an out of the money option, that they are slowing down the rate of decay, and you're not. You're actually accelerating it greatly. So this is again why it's so important to understand all of the details, all of your options theory, as well as your strategies, if you want to succeed and make better decisions with your options trading. And for anyone who'd like to learn more about the art and science of options trading, please check out the Alpha Trader course, Strategy Lab, and a technical analysis course. You can find it all at optionsatoz.com. Also, please join us on the Options A to Z Facebook trading group, and you can find a link in the description below.